Space was very quiet. It was dark and cold. There were no stars nearby. Only the black empty space stretched out for miles. Then, a flash of light broke the silence. A large ship appeared. It was not a human ship. It was sharp and jagged. It looked like a weapon made of dark metal. This was the warship of the Vexian Empire. It floated in the void like a predator waiting for prey. In front of the alien warship was a smaller vessel. It was the USS Liberty. To the naked eye, it looked like a simple supply freighter. It had no heavy armor. It had no big guns visible on the outside. It looked weak. It looked like an easy target. The Liberty drifted slowly, as if it had nowhere to go. Inside the alien warship, the bridge was full of activity. Alien officers moved quickly. They wore dark uniforms. At the center of the room stood Princess Zora. She was tall and beautiful, but her eyes were cold. She belonged to the Vexian royal family. Her people had conquered many star systems. They were strong. They were proud. Zora believed that no one could stop them. She looked at the screen showing the human ship. She smiled a cruel smile. "Look at them," Zora said. Her voice was smooth but hard. "They do not even run. They just sit there." One of her officers bowed low. "They are humans, Highness. They are primitive. They do not understand true power." Zora nodded. She felt very important. She wanted to show her power. She wanted to make an example of this human ship. It would send a message to the rest of the sector. If the humans saw what happened to this ship, they would be afraid. They would surrender without a fight. "Open a channel," Zora ordered. "I want to speak to their leader." The officer pressed a button. "Channel open, Highness." Zora stepped closer to the main screen. Her image appeared on the bridge of the USS Liberty. On the human ship, the bridge was much quieter. It was not dark like the alien ship. It was lit with soft white lights. The crew wore simple blue uniforms. They were working calmly. Captain Jack Burton sat in the command chair. He was a middle-aged man. He had short hair and a kind face. But his eyes were sharp. He did not look scared. He looked like a man who had seen many things. Beside him sat Mary Lane. She was the communications officer. She was young. Her hands were shaking slightly on the console. The screen flickered. Princess Zora's face appeared. She looked down on them, even though she was far away in space. "I am Princess Zora of the Vexian Empire," she said. Her voice filled the human bridge. "You are in our space. Your ship is weak. Your people are weak." Jack Burton did not stand up. He did not look angry. He just listened. He rested his chin on his hand. "You have 1 minute," Zora spoke proudly. 1 minute, human. Power down your engines. Open your airlocks. Submit to my boarding party. If you do not do this, I will vaporize your ship. There will be no survivors." The screen showed a countdown timer. It started at 60 seconds. The numbers began to drop. 59. 58. Mary Lane looked at Jack. "Captain," she whispered, "their weapons are charged. They can kill us in seconds. Should we surrender?" Jack looked at the timer. He looked at Mary. "No, Mary. We do not surrender." "But Captain," Mary said. Her voice was full of fear. "They are too strong. Look at their ship. It is huge." Jack smiled. It was a small smile. It did not reach his eyes. "Size does not matter, Mary. Patience matters." On the alien ship, Zora watched the humans. She expected them to panic. She expected them to beg. She wanted to hear them cry for mercy. But the human captain just sat there. He looked bored. This made Zora angry. How dare he ignore her? 10 seconds, Zora said over the comms. "Do not test me, human. I am not known for my kindness." Jack tapped his console lightly. "Mary, is the signal locked?" Mary checked her screen. Her hands stopped shaking. She saw something on her datapad. She looked at Jack. She understood. "Yes, Captain. The signal is locked. Everything is ready. Good, Jack said. Zora saw them talking. She thought they were saying goodbye. She thought they were afraid. She did not know the truth. She had no idea who was before her. She thought Jack Burton was just a traitor. She thought the USS Liberty was just a freighter. She was wrong. 5 seconds, Zora counted down. Her hand hovered over the fire command. Her crew waited for the order. They wanted to destroy the humans. Jack looked at the screen. He spoke softly. You should have checked your sensors, Princess. Zora laughed. My sensors are perfect. There is nothing around us. You are alone. The timer kept going. 30 seconds. 20 seconds. The tension in the room was heavy. The air felt thick. Mary held her breath. Jack watched the numbers drop. He was not worried. He knew something the alien princess did not know. He knew that humans were not prey. They were hunters. But they waited for the right time. 1 minute, human, she had said. She spoke proudly. But pride often comes before a fall. Jack Burton knew this well. He waited for the last second. He waited for the moment when the alien thought she had won. The countdown continued. The alien weapons glowed brighter. The human ship remained silent. The trap was set. The only thing left to do was wait for the time to run out. Princess Zora stood tall on her bridge. The dark metal walls seemed to shine under the red lights. She felt very strong. Her people, the Vexians, were the masters of the galaxy. They had fought many wars across many stars. They had never lost a battle. To her, this human ship was just a small bug in front of a giant boot. She did not worry about the countdown. She knew she would win. She believed her empire was invincible. She turned to her first officer. He was a tall alien with gray skin and sharp eyes. He looked at the human ship on the main screen. He looked ready to fight. He wanted to destroy the enemy quickly. Why do they not move? The officer asked. Most species beg for life by now. They cry for their mothers. They promise us their goods. Zora smiled. It was a cold smile. Humans are strange, she said. They think bravery means standing still. But bravery does not stop energy beams. Bravery does not stop missiles. They are foolish. They do not understand power. She walked across the bridge. Her boots made loud sounds on the metal floor. The crew watched her. They respected her. They feared her. She was the princess. Her word was law. Her family had ruled for 1,000 years. They had crushed many rebellions. She believed this would be just another easy victory. Prepare the main cannon, Zora ordered. When the timer hits 0, fire. I want to see them burn. I want the other humans to see this. I want them to know that the Vexian Empire owns this space. We take what we want. The officer nodded. Yes, Highness. The cannon is ready. It only needs your command. The energy cells are full. Zora looked back at the screen. Captain Jack Burton was still sitting in his chair. He looked relaxed. This made her angry. How could he be relaxed when death was coming? She thought he was bluffing. She thought he was trying to look strong to hide his fear. She wanted to break his spirit before she broke his ship. Open the channel again, Zora said. I want to talk to him one more time. The officer pressed the button. The screen flickered. Jack Burton's face appeared again. He looked the same. Calm. Quiet. His hands were folded on his desk. 30 seconds, Zora said. Her voice was sharp. You are wasting time, human. Do you think I will wait? Do you think I have mercy? Jack leaned forward slightly. He put his elbows on his knees. I do not think you have mercy, Princess. I know your history. Your empire takes what it wants. You do not ask. You just take. Zora laughed. That is right. We are strong. Strength is the only law. You are weak. Your ship is a toy. Your weapons are small. You cannot hurt us. Your species is young. You are children playing with fire. You are right about one thing, Jack said. This ship is not a warship. It is not built for fighting. It does not have heavy armor. Then you admit defeat? Zora asked. She felt happy. She thought she had broken him. No, Jack said. I admit that we do not fight like you. You use big guns. You use heavy armor. We use something else. What? Zora asked. She was curious now. What do you have? You have nothing. You are empty space. Jack looked at Mary Lane. She was typing on her keyboard. Her face was serious. She was not shaking anymore. She looked focused. She was checking the data streams. We use time, Jack said. And we use patience. And we use truth. Zora frowned. Time is running out for you. The clock is ticking. 20 seconds. On the alien bridge, the crew watched the numbers. They wanted to fire now. They did not want to wait. But Zora wanted to follow the rule. She wanted to give them exactly 1 minute. It was a game to her. She wanted to show that she was fair, even when she was cruel. She wanted to prove she was better than them in every way. Mary, Jack said softly, is the synchronization complete? Mary looked up. Her eyes were bright. Yes, Captain. The signal is strong. They cannot block it. It is too deep in the spectrum. Their computers do not know how to see it. Good, Jack said. He looked back at Zora. You said your sensors are perfect. You said space is empty. I did say that, Zora said. My sensors see everything. There is nothing there. You are alone. My ships have the best technology in the galaxy. That is where you are wrong, Jack said. His voice was still calm. It did not go up. It did not go down. It was steady. You see what you expect to see. You expect a freighter. You expect a victim. So your sensors show you a freighter. You look for threats, but you do not know what a human threat looks like. Zora felt a small chill, but she pushed it away. She was proud. She did not want to show fear. You are trying to scare me. It will not work. 10 seconds. The alien crew got ready. Their hands were on the weapons. The lights on the console turned red. The power was building up. The main cannon was glowing with energy. It was ready to destroy the Liberty. The hum of the weapon grew louder. It vibrated through the floor. Jack did not move. He did not blink. He just watched the timer. He knew the plan. He knew the truth. The Liberty was not alone. It never was. It was the key to a much bigger lock. It was the bait in a trap. Zora raised her hand. 5 seconds. Say your last words, human. Jack smiled. It was a real smile this time. My last words are simple. Check your long-range sensors again. Really look this time. Look past the moon. Zora shouted to her crew. Scan again. Full power. Check the gravity well. The officer typed fast. His fingers moved quickly. Nothing, Highness. Still nothing. The space is clear. Jack shook his head. You are looking too close. Look further out. Look at the dark spots. The timer hit 3 seconds. The alien weapons hummed loudly. The sound was like a beast waking up. Zora felt victorious. She thought she had won. She did not know that the trap was already sprung. She did not know that the humans had planned this moment for a long time. She did not know who was before her. 2 seconds. 1 second. The screen went black for a moment. Then it came back. Jack was still there. He was not afraid. 0, Zora said. Fire. But before the officer could press the button, the lights on the alien bridge flickered. The screens changed. Something was happening. The space around them began to shake. The stars seemed to move. The order to fire had been given. Princess Zora expected a bright flash of light. She expected the human ship to break apart. She expected the silence of space to return. But nothing happened. The weapon did not fire. The bright glow on the alien cannon faded away. The hum of the engine stopped. The bridge went quiet. The only sound was the beep of warning lights on the control panels. Zora stared at her officer. Her face was hard. "Why did you not fire?" she asked. Her voice was low and dangerous. The officer typed fast on his console. His hands were shaking now. "I do not know, Highness. The system is locked. The targeting computer is not responding. It says there is an interference signal." "Interference?" Zora shouted. "From where? There is nothing out there." She looked at the main screen. The USS Liberty was still there. It looked the same. It was not moving. But Captain Jack Burton was smiling. It was a small smile, but it was clear. He looked like a man who had just won a game. On the human ship, the bridge was calm. Mary Lane was typing quickly. Her fingers moved over the keys like rain. "The jamming signal is active, Captain," she said. "Their weapons are offline. They cannot shoot us." Jack nodded. "Good work, Mary. Keep the signal strong. Do not let them reset." "Yes, sir," Mary said. She did not look up. She was focused. "The beacon is also broadcasting. The countdown is complete." Jack leaned back in his chair. He looked at the screen where Princess Zora was watching him. She looked confused. Her pride was hurt. She could not understand why her perfect weapons failed. She thought her technology was the best in the galaxy. She thought humans were primitive. Now, her technology was useless. "Princess," Jack said. His voice was clear over the comms. "The minute is up." Zora gripped the rail in front of her. "You cheated," she said. "You used some kind of trick. This is not honor. This is not war. This is survival," Jack replied. "You gave us 1 minute. We used it. You tried to kill us. We stopped you. That is how humans fight. We do not fight fair. We fight to win." The ship shook again. It was not a violent shake. It was like a ripple in water. The stars on the screen seemed to wiggle. The dark space around the Liberty began to look strange. It looked like heat waves rising from hot ground. On the alien bridge, the warning lights turned from yellow to red. The alarm sound was loud. It hurt their ears. "Highness," the officer yelled. "Sensors are going wild. There are energy readings everywhere. But there are no ships. It does not make sense." Zora looked around. "Scan deeper. Use the gravity detectors. Find them." "I am trying," the officer said. "But the signal is coming from all sides. We are surrounded by something invisible." Jack watched them panic. He felt no joy in their fear. He only felt relief. He knew the risk. If the signal had failed, the Liberty would be dead. If the timing was off by 1 second, they would be dead. But it worked. The human strategy worked. "Mary," Jack said, "how long until the cloaking fields drop?" Mary checked the timer. 30 seconds, Captain. The fleet is aligning. They need to match our position exactly." "Keep them waiting," Jack said. "Let them think about it. Let them know they are trapped." On the screen, Zora was arguing with her crew. She did not want to believe it. She wanted to believe it was a glitch. She wanted to believe her empire was still strong. But the fear was growing in her eyes. She looked at Jack. She saw the calm in his face. She realized he was not bluffing. "What do you want?" Zora asked. Her voice was not proud anymore. It was shaky. "Do you want to destroy us? Then do it. But know that the Empire will come. They will find you. They will burn your worlds." Jack shook his head. "We do not want to destroy you, Princess. We want you to leave. We want you to tell your people something." "Tell them what?" Zora asked. "That you use tricks." "Tell them that humans are not prey," Jack said. "Tell them that when you push us, we do not break. We push back. Tell them that space is not theirs. It is ours too." The shaking got stronger. The ripple effect in space grew wider. The dark spots near the moon began to glow faintly. It was like stars turning on in the dark. The alien sensors screamed louder. The officer covered his ears. "Highness, the energy levels are rising. Something is decloaking. There are too many signatures. Zora stepped back. She looked at the screen one last time. She looked at Jack Burton. She saw the truth. He was not a traitor. He was a soldier. He was a commander. He had led her into a trap. She had walked in with her eyes open. She had been blind because of her pride. "Shields up," Zora ordered. "Prepare for impact." "There is no time," the officer cried. "They are everywhere." Jack watched the space around them. The empty void was filling up. The shadows were becoming shapes. The silence was becoming noise. The trap was closing. The 1 minute was over. The real show was about to begin. He folded his hands on his desk. He waited for the reveal. He knew the next moment would change everything for the Vexian Empire. They thought they were hunters. Now they would learn what it felt like to be hunted. The space around the USS Liberty changed completely. The darkness was gone. Instead of empty void, the area was filled with metal and light. Hundreds of human ships appeared at the same time. They came out of cloaking mode. They were big and strong. They were warships. They had heavy guns and thick armor. They formed a circle around the alien vessel. The Vexian warship was now in the center of a human fleet. It looked very small compared to the others. On the alien bridge, the crew was in panic. The alarms were loud. The red lights flashed everywhere. Princess Zora stood frozen. She could not move. She could not speak. Her eyes were wide. She looked at the main screen. It showed human ships on every side. There was no way out. There was no place to hide. The trap was closed. "Highness," the officer shouted, "there are too many of them. We cannot fight them all. Our shields will fail in seconds." Zora shook her head. She wanted to deny it. She wanted to say it was not real. But she could see the ships with her own eyes. They were real. The human freighter was not alone. It was the bait. The Liberty was the lure that brought them here. And the Vexians had taken the bait. A large ship moved forward. It was bigger than the Liberty. It was bigger than the alien warship. It was the USS Eagle. It was a heavy cruiser. It moved slowly toward the alien ship. Its guns were pointed directly at the Vexian bridge. The message was clear. One wrong move and they would be destroyed. A new face appeared on the screen. It was not Jack Burton. It was an older man. He had gray hair and a serious face. He wore a uniform with many stars on the collar. This was Admiral Paul Gray. He was the commander of the human fleet. He looked calm. He looked very powerful. "This is Admiral Gray of the United Earth Fleet," Paul said. His voice was deep and strong. "Princess Zora, your ship is surrounded. Your weapons are locked. You have no chance to escape. I advise you to surrender immediately." Zora looked at Paul. Then she looked at Jack Burton on the other screen. She felt confused. She did not understand. "Who are you?" she asked Jack. "You are not a traitor. You are not a captain of a freighter. A traitor does not command a fleet." Jack stood up from his chair. He walked to the screen. He looked tall and confident. "I told you, Princess. You did not check your sensors. You did not check who you were talking to." "Tell me," Zora demanded. Her voice was weak now. The pride was gone. "I am Jack Burton," he said. "But I am not just a captain. I am the lead strategist for human defense. I planned this operation. I used my ship to draw you out. We knew you were watching this sector. We knew you were looking for easy targets. So we gave you one." Zora felt sick. She had been fooled. She thought she was hunting a weak animal. But she had walked into a den of lions. The humans had planned this carefully. They waited for her. They let her speak proudly. They let her make her threats. Also they could catch her in the act. "You lied to me," Zora said. "We protected ourselves," Jack replied. "You threatened to kill us. You gave us 1 minute to live. We used that minute to call our friends. That is not a lie. That is strategy." Admiral Paul Gray spoke again. "Princess, You have 10 seconds to lower your shields. If you do not, we will disable your ship. We do not want to kill your crew. But we will defend our space." The alien officer looked at Zora. "Highness, we cannot win. Their firepower is 10 times ours. If we fight, we die." Zora looked at the screens. She saw the guns of the USS Eagle. She saw the hundreds of other ships. She saw the calm faces of the humans. They were not angry. They were just ready. They were professionals. They did not fight for fun. They fought to protect their home. She realized her mistake. She judged the humans by their size. She thought because the Liberty was small, the humans were weak. She did not know that humans were smart. They used their minds instead of just brute force. They worked together. They waited for the right time. "Lower the shields," Zora said softly. "Highness," the officer asked. "Lower them," Zora shouted. Tears were in her eyes. "We surrender. Do not fire." The officer typed the command. The lights on the alien ship changed from red to green. The weapons powered down. The hum of the engine stopped. The Vexian warship was now helpless. It floated in the middle of the human fleet. It was a prisoner. Jack Burton watched the status change on his console. He nodded to Mary Lane. She sent a signal to the Admiral. The threat was over. The battle was won without a single shot fired. "Good choice, Princess," Jack said. "You will be treated fairly. But you will learn a lesson today." "What lesson?" Zora asked. She looked tired. "Never underestimate humanity," Jack said. "And never give a human 1 minute when they have friends waiting in the dark." The USS Eagle moved closer. A boarding team was preparing to leave. They would take control of the alien ship. The Vexian crew would be taken to a safe station. They would be safe, but they were no longer free. The humans had won. The trap was complete. The pride of the Vexian Empire was broken in deep space. The silence on the Vexian bridge was heavy. The red alarm lights were off. The normal blue lights were on. It looked like a normal day, but everyone knew it was not. The weapons were cold. The shields were down. Human boarding shuttles were moving toward the airlocks. They did not attack. They just docked. They came to take control. Small human soldiers in white armor walked onto the alien ship. They held their weapons low. They did not point them at the crew. They just secured the room. Princess Zora stood by her chair. She looked at the screen. Jack Burton was still there. He did not look happy about winning. He looked serious. He looked like a man who did a job that needed to be done. He did not smile. He did not laugh. He just waited. "You are not going to kill us," Zora said. It was not a question. She was surprised. Her voice was quiet. "No," Jack said. "Humans do not kill prisoners. We do not kill those who surrender. You are safe, Princess. But you are not free. Not yet." Zora looked down at her hands. She expected death. Her empire taught her that losers die. Winners take everything. But humans were different. They had rules. They had mercy. This was confusing for her. It was also scary. Mercy meant they were confident. They did not need to kill to prove they were strong. They knew they had won. "Why?" Zora asked. "Why show mercy? We would have killed you." "I ordered my crew to fire." "Because we are not you," Jack replied. "War is not a game. It is serious. But we do not enjoy it. We want peace. We want to go home. We want to trade. But if you attack us, we will stop you. Today we stopped you. Now, we will let you go home." Jack paused. He looked deep into the camera. His eyes were kind but firm. "You will take your ship back. Admiral Gray will escort you to the edge of our space. You will tell your people what happened. You will tell them about the 1 minute. Zora nodded slowly. She felt a mix of shame and respect. "I will tell them." "Tell them that humans are kind," Jack said. "But tell them that we are dangerous when we need to be. Do not come back with weapons. Next time, we might not be so kind." Next time, we might not wait. The communication ended. The screen went dark. Zora walked to the window. She saw the human fleet. They were moving in perfect lines. They were powerful. But they did not fire. They just watched. The USS Eagle moved ahead. It would guide them out. It was a show of force and a show of peace at the same time. The human soldiers on her bridge finished their work. They checked the weapon systems. They disabled the main cannon. Then they left. They did not take anything. They did not hurt anyone. Her officer came to her side. He looked relieved. Highness, the humans are leaving the ship. They are checking our navigation. They are not hurting anyone. Let them check, Zora said. We have lost. We must accept it. We are lucky to be alive. She thought about Jack Burton. She thought about the 1 minute. She had spoken proudly. She had said, 1 minute, human. She thought it was a threat. But it was a mistake. That 1 minute gave the humans time to win. It gave them time to call their fleet. It was the time they needed to save themselves. Her pride had almost destroyed her people. Days later, the Vexian ship reached the edge of the sector. The human fleet stopped. The USS Eagle sent a final message. You are clear to leave. Safe travels. Zora stood on her bridge one last time before the jump. She looked at the stars. She felt different. She was not as proud as before. She was wiser. She understood that the galaxy was big. There were many species. Some were strong like the Vexians. But some were smart like the humans. Strength was not just about guns. It was about mind. It was about heart. Back on the USS Liberty, Jack Burton sat in his chair. The ship was quiet again. It was just a freighter now. The fleet was gone. They had returned to their bases. Mary Lane sat at her console. She was drinking coffee. Her hands were steady. She was not shaking anymore. Do you think they will come back? Mary asked. She looked at the empty space on the screen. Maybe, Jack said. But not soon. They know the cost now. They know we are ready. It was close, Mary said. If they fired 1 second earlier, if the signal failed. But they did not, Jack said. We waited. We planned. And we won. That is what matters. Jack looked at the clock on the wall. It ticked slowly. 1 second. Another second. Time was important. Time was power. He remembered the words of the princess. 1 minute, human. She spoke proudly. But she had no idea who was before her. She thought she faced a victim. She faced a guardian. She thought she faced a traitor. She faced a soldier. Jack smiled. He turned to the pilot. Set course for the next station. We have supplies to deliver. There are people waiting for us. Yes, Captain, the pilot said. The USS Liberty turned. It moved into the dark space. It looked small alone. But everyone knew now that it was not alone. It was part of something bigger. It was part of humanity. And humanity was ready. They were patient. They were strong. And they would always protect their own. The story of the 1 minute would spread across the stars. Other aliens would hear it. They would think twice before threatening a human ship. They would remember the fleet in the dark. They would remember the mercy that was stronger than violence. Jack looked out the window. The stars were bright. The path was clear. He was ready for whatever came next. The galaxy was vast. But humans belonged there